everyone, this is the CMSConf podcast, your go-to source for everything CMS, marketing and modern web development. Today we are diving into WordPress security, facts and myths with our special guest, Paulina Kołodziejczyk from Altumhost. If you want to keep your website safe and sleep soundly at night for you.
Hey everyone, so great to be here with you today. You know, when we talk about WordPress, we usually talk about the fun stuff, the beautiful designs, the endless plugin possibilities, the joy of hitting publish on something you have poured your heart into. It's exciting and empowering. WordPress has given millions of people the freedom to build something meaningful without needing to know a single line of code. And that's incredible, but today I want to take you to the other side of that story, a side that's not as shiny, not as talked about, and definitely not as fun. I like to call it the dark side of WordPress, security. Now, don't worry, I'm not here to scare you or throw complicated technical jargon your way. My goal is to help you understand that security doesn't have to be scary. In fact, it's something you can handle calmly, confidently, and without needing a degree in computer science. Let's start with a question. When was the last time you thought about the locks on your digital front door? If you're like most people, your answer is probably never, and that's okay. Most of us get so focused on growing our traffic, improving SEO, or making our website look just right that we forget we are living in a world that's, well, a little wild. The internet is full of wonderful things, creativity, connection, knowledge, but it's also full of bots, scripts, and automated attacks happening quickly in the background every single second. I hear this all the time. I'm just a small blogger. I only have a little online shop. No one would want to hack me. Here's the thing. Hackers aren't sitting somewhere in a dark basement, sipping energy drinks, and choosing, who to attack. They're not saying, let's ruin Sarah's cupcake blog today. No. They use automated bots that scan millions of websites every single day, looking for easy targets. It's not personal, it's math. If there's a hole in your website's defenses, they will find it. And once they do, it doesn't matter if you're a multinational company or a local bakery. The results can be the same. Stolen data, broken pages, and hours, even days of stress trying to fix it. So let's think of your WordPress site like a house. You have decorated it beautifully. Maybe you have built a cozy living room for your visitors to hang out in. You have painted the walls, added plants, arranged the furniture. But if you leave the back door wide open and hide the key under the doormat, well, you can't really be surprised if someone walks in uninvited. Security is about making sure your digital home is as safe as your physical one, except this time the burglars are bots and they don't knock. Now every house starts with a foundation, and in the world of WordPress, that foundation is your hosting. A lot of people overlook hosting because it's invisible. You can't see it, you can't show it on Instagram. It's not as exciting as a new theme or a fancy slider, but your hosting is like the ground your house is built on. Build it on sand, and everything above it becomes unstable. Build it on solid concrete, and you can weather almost any storm. There's a myth floating around that if you are not paying hundreds of dollars by month, your site can be secure. But that's definitely not true. What really matters are the standards your host follows. At Altumhost, for example, we offer affordable plans, but we take security seriously. The price tag doesn't make a host secure. The policies and the infrastructure do. Our company holds the AS 127,001 certification, which basically means that an international organization has looked at our systems, our data handling, and our security processes and said, yep, these guys know what they're doing. Think of it like renting an apartment in a building with 24/7 security, fire alarms, and bulletproof glass. You might not see those features every day, but they are always there, protecting you quickly in the background. When you are choosing a host, don't just look at speed or cost. ask questions like, do they use firewalls? Do they run malware scans? Do they offer SSL certificates and automatic backups? A good host should handle the heavy lifting so you can focus on what you do best, creating great content. Let's talk about one of the most ignored parts of WordPress, the update button. You know that little red circle that appears next to plugins or themes? The one that always seems to pop up when you are busy? Most of us see it and think, I'll deal with it later. But here's the truth. Those updates are like patches on a leaky roof. Each one fixes a vulnerability that could let the rain or hackers inside. Developers release updates not just to add cool new features, but to fix holes. And if you don't apply those fixes, you're leaving your doors unlocked. And this doesn't just apply to WordPress itself. It includes every plugin and theme you've ever installed. My golden rule? If you're not using it, delete it. Don't just deactivate it. A deactivated plugin still lives on your server and can still be exploited. Imagine you have a window in your attic that no one ever opens. Just because you don't use it doesn't mean someone else can't crawl through it. Now, let's talk about the keys to your digital house, your username and password. If your username is still admin, please stop what you are doing and change it right now. That's the first thing every hacker tries. And when it comes to passwords, complexity doesn't mean impossibility. You don't need to memorize a random string of symbols. Instead, use a paraphrase, something like blue coffee running, #2026. It's easy for you to remember, but ridiculously hard for a computer to guess. Even better, add a second layer, two-factor authentication. You already use it for your bank or your email, so why not your business website? Even if someone steals your password, they still can't get it without the code that's sent to your phone. It's like having a digital deadbolt, an extra click, but one that could save you from a world of pain. Let's imagine for a moment that your website is a coffee shop. You have decorated it, set out your tables, and the customer are coming in. Everything feels good. But outside, there's a line of bots trying to sneak in through the back door, testing every handle, every window, every hidden corner. You don't notice them because they don't make noise. But they are there every single day, trying thousands of password combinations per second, poking your forms, testing your plugins. That's why you need digital bouncers, security plugins like WordFence or Sucuri. These tools act like 24/7 security guards. They monitor your site, scan for malware, block suspicious traffic, and even set up firewalls to filter out bad visitors before they get to your door. Think of it like hiring a watchful guard who doesn't sleep, doesn't blink, and never takes a lunch break. But, and this is important, no system is perfect. Even the most secure setups can be breached, which brings us to one of the most underrated heroes of the internet, backups. If your website ever gets hacked, crashes, or breaks after an update, backups are your lifeline. They are your undo button for real life. But there's the thing most people get wrong. They store backups on the same server as their site. That's like keeping your spare keys in the same drawer the burglar just emptied. If your server crashes, your backups go down with it. Store them off-site on services like Dropbox, Google Drive, or a secure external backup service. And once in a while, test them. Because a backup that doesn't actually work isn't a backup, it's a false sense of security. I once worked with a small online bookstore that was hit by malware. Their pages were replaced with spam links overnight. They thought they had backups, but when they tried to restore, every file was corrupted. They had to rebuild from scratch. That's when they learned that testing a backup is just as important as making one. Now let's talk about people, because technology can only go so far. Sometimes the weakest link is a human. If you have a team working on your site, don't give everyone administrator access. WordPress has user roles for a reason. If someone only writes posts, make them a contributor. If they edit content, make them an editor. Only a small, trusted group should have full control. It's not about mistrust, it's about minimizing damage, because sometimes mistakes happen and it's normal. Someone clicks the wrong button, installs the wrong plugin, or opens a suspicious email. Limiting access limits the fallout. Speaking of suspicious emails, let's talk about something that's becoming one of the biggest threats online: social engineering. Not every attack comes from code. Some come from people pretending to be helpful. Maybe you get an email that looks like it's from your hosting company. Your account has been suspended. Click here to verify your details. The logo looks right. The sender also looks real. But one click can hand over your login credentials to a stranger. Phishing attacks have become incredibly sophisticated. Some even use fake WordPress plugin updates to trick you into installing malware yourself. So here's a simple rule. If you get an email that asks for login information or password, don't click the link. Go directly to the official website and log in manually. It takes 5 extra seconds, but those 5 seconds can save your website. Here is the biggest mindset shift I want you to take away. Security isn't something you buy once or set up once. It's a habit. Just like brushing your teeth or locking your front door at night, website security is about small, consistent actions that add up over time. You don't need to fix everything today. Start small. Change your username today. Turn on two-factor authentication tomorrow. Check your hosting certifications and quality next week. Each step you take makes your site stronger. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, a friend of mine, let's call her Maya, ran a small photography website. It was beautiful. Minimalist design, a clean layout, full of her work. One day she woke up and her site was gone, replaced by a message that said, "Hacked by Shadow Wolf." It wasn't personal. Her site just had an outdated theme with a known vulnerability. She lost years of work, client galleries, blog posts, contact information, everything. When she tried to restore from backup, she realized her backup plugin had been deactivated months earlier during an update. It took her 3 weeks to rebuild, 3 weeks of lost clients, stress, and sleepless nights. Now, Maya runs a security plugin, automatic updates, and weekly offsite backups. And she teaches others to do the same. She told me once it wasn't the hack that taught me the lesson, but it was realizing how preventable it was. Stories like Maya are everywhere, because the truth is most website hacks are preventable. They don't happen because someone targeted you personally. And they happen because something small, an update, a password, a backup, got ignored. When people ask me what good security looks like, I tell them, I don't know, it's invisible. It's the absence of panic. It's sleeping peacefully at night because you know you have done the basic right. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Most of the time you won't need it, probably never, but when you do, you will be so glad it's there. At Altumhost, we see both sides every day: the panic of people who never thought they'd get hacked, and the calm relief of those who took precautions early. That's why we focus so much on prevention, not because it's glamorous, but because it saves real people from real headaches. Security isn't about paranoia, it's about preparedness. You can stop every storm, but you can build a house that stands strong when it comes. Your website is more than just code. It's your brand, your livelihood, your voice in the digital world. When it goes down, it's not just an inconvenience. It's a dent in your reputation. Visitors lose trust quickly. Google might flag your site as unsafe. Even loyal customers might hesitate to return. Protecting your website is protecting your reputation, your digital credibility. So think of every security habit as an investment, not just in uptime, but in trust. And trust, once lost, is much harder to rebuild than a website. Now the good news. Security in WordPress has never been better. The community is strong. Developers realize patches faster than ever. Hosting companies are constantly innovating with smarter firewalls, sometimes AI-based intrusion detection and real-time threat monitoring. But technology will always evolve, and so will attackers, which means our best defense is curiosity. Keep learning, stay informed, treat updates not as scores, but as shields. Because every update, every strong password, every verified plugin, each one is a brick in the wall protecting your digital home. So let's recap. Security isn't about fear. It's about responsibility. It's not about perfection, but about progress. And it's not about being big or small. Every website matters. If you stay just a little skeptical, keep things updated, and partner with a host that truly cares about your safety, you will already be ahead of 90% of WordPress users out there. Your website deserves care. It deserves protection. And you deserve the peace of mind that comes with knowing your digital doors are locked. Thank you for listening, and remember, lock your digital doors, back up your data, and keep creating fearlessly. Stay safe out there.
That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening to the CMSConf podcast.